Hey, thanks for joining me for another episode of the Holistic Life Coach podcast. This week, I talk about autism since April is Autism Awareness Month. And I have a special relationship with it because I have an adult daughter with autism. So thanks for joining me, and let's get on with this week's episode. Hey, beautiful souls. Thanks for dropping in. Did you know that April is Autism Awareness Month? This is special to me because I have an adult daughter with autism. She was diagnosed when she was 4, and we noticed that, her speech was behind, that she had some odd behaviors. I really didn't notice it as much because she was my firstborn, and I didn't have that much experience with children. And so first she was diagnosed with PDD-NOS, which is pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. Then it was high-functioning autism. Then it was Asperger's. It's autism. And the one thing I am grateful for is that she is verbal. I've been to many support group meetings, listening to moms, and some of them have nonverbal children. And almost all of them have said, what I would give to just hear him say, Mom. And when it gets hard, when she, gets frustrated or she doesn't want to do what I ask her to do, and I'm frustrated, I am just thankful for that she's able to talk to me and she's able to tell me what's bothering her. So, every day is about autism in our household. It permeates every decision we make, where we go out to eat, which movie we see. Can we even make it out of the house that day? Will I explain things 2, 3, or 4 times? It's about tantrums, not being able to handle change. It's about OCD and opening cabinet doors and the refrigerator door over and over again. It's about rechecking things. It's about saying, I love you 2 times before she leaves the room. It's about asking me questions about where I'm going, who I'm going out with, and when I'll be back home about 10 times. And no, I'm not kidding about the 10 times. And if I don't answer the question in the right tone of voice or give the correct answer, we start all over again. It's about not being able to do ordinary tasks and having to help her dress and shower and explain the birds and the bees for the umpteenth time. But it's also about a childlike understanding of the world, a quirky sense of humor, routine, goals that are met that only her brother and I understand the importance of, a love of music, and a God-given singing voice that brings her immense joy, an incredible memory, and a savant-like ability for Disney trivia, doing Facebook Live movie reviews with her mom, talking only to her mother on the phone, making meaningful connections with others, caring about others to ask about them, but not talk to them in person, and giggle fits. Lots and lots of giggle fits. Every day is about autism in our household. I'm far from the mother I want to be. I've made mistakes. And there are days I feel like an utter failure at that job or vocation. Even though my daughter may live more independently by living in a home with others like her, I know that she has thrived residing with her brother and me. Her version of happiness isn't like yours or mine. We may struggle with trying to understand how someone can be happy just going to the movies, eating ice cream, being in her bedroom for hours at a time, talking to herself, or singing, or changing the toilet paper roll. She is happy doing these things, and it's not my place to understand the reason behind it. I wonder what she will be like when I leave this earth. Will she be sad? Will she remember that I loved her? I know one thing, though. She knows I love her now. Today. Today is all we have. And through all the difficulties, the stress, and frustration, I know I have to show her that I love her one time today. Even though I end up showing her many times. The progress she makes is worth it. You may encounter someone on the spectrum in public. So, what do you do? Well, depending upon where they are on the spectrum, what age they are, don't take it personally if you're introduced to someone who is on the autism spectrum and they don't want to shake your hand or they don't want to make eye contact. It's nothing personal. Also, remind yourself that you might have to explain things in a different way so that they understand. Also, have patience and empathy. And if you're in a situation where the child is having a meltdown and you're wondering why the parent isn't just spanking that child, or, you say to yourself, well, if my kid was doing that and having that tantrum, boy, they would, they'd really get it from me, or I would just take them out. I'd drag them out of this place. Not if they're on the spectrum. You can make things worse. So just to have a little empathy for the parents, the caregivers, and the whole situation. Sometimes the child or the adult is overstimulated by sounds, by lights, by, the number of people in the room. And if they can just be brought out of that situation and calm down and be somewhere where it's quiet, you can get through it. April may be Autism Awareness Month, but what we really need is give a caretaker a break month. I'm really not kidding. It's a tough job. And if you're wondering how you can help a caregiver out, ask if you could stay with that person who's on the spectrum, for an evening so that they can get out, or even a weekend, or even a week. Those things take time to plan and stuff, but I can assure you that it is very much needed. And I think nowadays, people are very aware of autism. So, unfortunately, most of us know or are familiar with someone who is affected by autism. So we either know someone with autism, or we have friends or family members who know someone with autism. And I don't know if it's because the diagnosis, they can diagnose it better nowadays, or if it's a spectrum, so there are many more symptoms that are considered when a person is being diagnosed with autism. It's nice that we have a month for autism awareness, but every day we are aware of autism in our household. Thank you for listening. And if you would do me a favor and leave a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to chat about autism, go to the holisticlifecoachpodcast.com, where you can contact me or leave a comment on this podcast. Until next time, beautiful souls.